Now, people are arguing that platforms like Instagram and Facebook were deliberately designed to be addictive, particularly for young users. From a policy standpoint, how do courts determine what qualifies as addictive design?
Well, that's a thing that the judge himself is going to have to determine. So actually, these are questions that are not set in law. Figuring out whether a design itself has been addicting. And again, the reason that category is being selected is because it is something that you actually can bring a lawsuit about because it is not defined in law. So it's really going to be up to the judge, and the judge will make that determination based on the evidence that's presented by the plaintiffs, by the various experts who will testify, and then also what the defense, in this case, Meta, are going to bring to the table. So it's not clear in law. It's really going to be up to the judge to determine this. And that's why many people are looking at this trial as a very big bellwether, because it's really the future of social media on trial.
Well, and to kind of carry on with that, features like infinite scroll, push notifications, and algorithmic feeds are common platforms across social media. So if these are deemed harmful, how could that reshape how social media is actually built?
Well, what it would mean is just all of your apps would be clunkers. None of them would work as well as they do now. And again, all the things about infinite scroll and nice graphics, these are things that are basically in the UX of every app we use now, whether it be your bank or if you have a newspaper app. All of these features are things that apps use because people like them, they're drawn to them, and it makes the experience of using smartphones, social media, banking apps much better. So I think obviously the social media companies are being targeted right now for this, but we really have to look at what is the user experience of most people using online platforms. And we have the emerging field of artificial intelligence agents. And, I use my own and it's on my phone, all kinds of cool features. And these are things that I'm seeking out as a consumer, just like everyone else who signed up for these platforms. So it's really something that will change not just how we deal with social media companies, but also how we deal with apps, with all kinds of different designs of the internet in the future.
And parents in the courtroom say that social media harmed their children's mental health. But should responsibility fall more on tech companies, regulators, or parents themselves?
It's definitely got to come down to the parents. And, that is the great thing about technology is that as much as people say it's harmed, it also enables so many great things and positive things. And if you look at any of these various apps, if you look at various technologies, you have the parental responsibility technology right there at your fingertips. I know the ones that I use in my house. I'm able to turn things off. I'm able to selectively allow downloading. I'm able to say, okay, not this app, but this app is okay. So all those technologies exist on basically every single platform we have, whether it be a tablet or a cell phone or anything else. I think a lot of parents are just not using them and they're not aware. And I really do think it falls on parental responsibility to understand it, much like our parents and parents before them, when they sent us out in the dark on our bicycles, they had a little measure of parental responsibility. We just need to take everything that's been sort of on the offline world and apply it to the online world as well. And I think that will hopefully avoid many more of these trials, because all this is really going to do is make it so that the experiences are rendered down for a lot of users. They're really going to make it unusable. And if we do see a larger settlement or outcome of this, I think it really could impact consumers in a very negative way.
And would stricter regulations risk limiting innovation or user freedom?
I think you're to mind me. It depends on what kind of regulations you have. I think the larger now that we've discussed here before and many other countries are discussing are bans on younger people signing up for social media apps. We already have this present in most of the internet laws in most countries. Normally it'd be 13, 16, whatever it might be. But this would be an explicit ban and then a requirement that we use age verification tools. I think that there are probably more risks than benefits when it comes to it. I do think there should be some measure of having regulation, obviously. I think nobody can really say that we should have the opposite, but we really just have to think about what those practical regulations are and how they would impact everyone else who uses these apps. Because if you're going to ask for the ID of someone who might be underage, it means you have to ask for my ID and your ID and everyone else's as well. And that would just take the user experience and really bring it down to levels that would not make these social media apps or realistically the internet fun anymore.
And from a consumer choice perspective, how do you weigh concerns about harm against the idea that people voluntarily use these platforms?
Yeah, it's something that we see in all types of different market categories. Here we're talking about social media apps, and it's a very conscious thing. You have to go to the particular app or website, sign up, use your email, set up two-factor authentication these days. And people understand that they're there to share, to post. And a lot of times people are doing it because they're joining a crowd. They're joining their friends are on there. There's all types of different platforms that exist now that even my generation does not understand or know about. And that's going to continue happening. Realistically, we just have to design not just the apps. I think we just need to design our environment so that people can tinker and play and understand how technology works. Because you have to understand that all of the young people using these apps will be in 10, 15 years on the labor market using these very same tools to try to generate value, and hopefully we'll be driving our economies in the future. So if we're depriving them from using that, we're actually putting ourselves at a big disservice. And it's not going to be good for our future societies if people don't know how to use this technology. So how do you balance it? We need good education. People need to understand the tools. We need to understand what's real, what's not. People need to understand how to not get scammed and, leak their credentials or send too much sensitive information. And that really comes with the education system and then also what parents are teaching at home.
Well, thank you so much for breaking that down for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.